After Montgomery, demonstrations happened all across the South. There were more boycotts of businesses. There were what they called sit-ins, particularly at lunch counters, places where Black people could not be served. They would come in and occupy all the seats and refuse to move for hours and days at a time in shifts. They had condiments poured over them. They were harassed. They were beaten, but they stood firm. You've seen some of the iconic pictures of those times of struggle, of dogs and water hoses being used against demonstrators who were peaceful, who were not armed, who were being dragged away and put into jail. All of this is well documented. And eventually, it kind of culminated in an event in 1963, organized by Dr. King and some other folks, called the March on Washington for, I think it was called For Justice, Peace, and Freedom, something like that. He asked people to come to Washington, D.C., on the mall there between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial, or the reflection pool, to come for a mass meeting. Now, there was a lot of fear around this because all of these people gathered. The mood of the country was very divided. Huge chance for things to get out of hand and there'd be violence. But 250,000 people gathered on that day in August of 1963 on the mall in Washington, D.C., and they heard speeches from John Lewis, from A. Philip Randolph, and of course, the most famous speech from Dr. King of I Had a Dream. That march showed the solidarity of the movement, that this was not a one time thing, this was no flash in the pan. People were serious. And it also put pressure on the Kennedy administration to push forward with the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Act, which were being stalled in Congress, to say, we demand that you do something. It was a scary day. It was an absolutely magnificent day to sit in my little apartment in Chicago and see 250,000 people standing and saying, we're not going to take it anymore. Find video of that event. It's inspiring.